We made it into our building here in Estill County. We're just looking at pretty much complete loss. Estimated around $80,000 worth of food is lost.
With widespread flood damage, especially in Estill County, there's a need now more than ever for food donations. However, God's outreach was affected by this flooding. Assistant Director Mandy Agee explains exactly how bad the waters were.
We were able to go into our building just about an hour or so ago and assess the damage for the first time since the water has receded, and it is really bad. It's so deep. The water was at least 2 feet deep in that building, so a pallet of food, will sit up about 6 inches off the floor, and that's to allow if there's a little water gets in your area, but definitely wasn't tall enough to save the food. So you've got, when we entered the building, you were just wading through mud, and because all the food that we had stacked in, once it got wet, it collapsed. It's all in the floor. It's piled up. We estimate that about $80,000 in food has been lost in that building.
Agee said she is not sure yet if any of the remaining food is salvageable.
We are still waiting. The agricultural department has to come in and do an assessment. We are concerned because that building was full of water, for the past few nights. The temperatures got down to like 21 degrees at one point. Canned food can be affected by freezing temperatures. So the heat wasn't on. It was sitting in, that water standing in the building. So the agriculture department will actually have to come in and make the final assessment on it.
Despite this setback, donations are still being accepted and given out to local residents in need.
So we are doing the food bank. We're continuing on Thursdays, and I think it will be Fridays also at the First Church of God on Broadway in Irvin. And they're going to do mobile food distribution until we can get a building again. We are accepting donations, food donations at our Richmond location at 1512 East Main. And monetary donations, of course, can be sent to the P.O. Box, which is 1226 Richmond, Kentucky. And then godsoutreach.org, you can give your PayPal. The hours for food drop-off, if anyone wants to drop off food, is Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, 9 a.m. until noon. They're actually cooking also at that church, and we've been providing the food there for them to cook for all the first responders and people who are displaced by the water. They're estimating this afternoon around 6 o'clock they're going to feed 400 individuals when they get back. They're at the church tonight and tomorrow night and Saturday night. We've actually gotten extra water, fresh fruit, produce, and that kind of thing. Things that was a little more perishable, we've tried to give some of that too, because a lot of the people lost stuff when the electricity went out. So we're trying to restore their the stuff they would keep in their fridges.
Agee reminds how even the smallest donation can help, especially during these trying times.
I just want to keep out there in front of people that, every dollar that comes through God's outreach, we can purchase $14 worth of food. The food drives are always appreciated, but any monetary donations, they multiply 14 times.
To keep up with the latest news important to Central and Eastern Kentucky, always stay tuned right here to Wallingford Broadcasting Stations. For Channel 9 News, I'm Marissa Hempel.